Happy Halloween, movie lovers. It's that time again. It's spooky season, and I'm here to talk about not scary movies. This costume is incredibly hot, so I had to take that off. Movies that aren't scary. You remember watching them growing up. You just watch them and you're expecting a wonderful movie time. And then a scene comes along that just scares the absolute crap out of you. And it usually comes in kids' movies, movies that you wouldn't even expect a scary scene to take place. And then it just comes out of nowhere and scares the absolute crap out of you. And today, I'm going to talk about scenes in movies that aren't scary movies that scared me as a kid. Let's get into it. First and foremost, we have Wizard of Oz. I have two scenes from this movie that absolutely terrified me as a kid. The first scene comes early in the movie after she meets the Scarecrow, and they're walking down the road and they get to these field of apple trees, and they decide to pick some apples to eat on the way to their destination. And just take a look. The thought of a tree coming to life and attacking you, and then just the way they wiggle and move. I remember just being terrified and like covering my eyes when I would watch that scene, because I don't know, it's just something about this big tall mass of a tree coming down and attacking you is scary. Scene 2, the second scene in The Wizard of Oz that always would scare me as a kid, is the flying monkey scene. You know it. We all know it. Roll the clip.
Took care of those ruby zippers. I want those most of all. Now fly! Fly!
Now it's not just that part, because even just a few minutes later in that very same scene, they attack Dorothy and everyone, and they rip the Scarecrow apart. Like, look! That's insane. They murdered this man. I mean, he's not dead, but, you know, they tore him apart on screen. And the monkeys themselves look terrifying. I don't know if you've ever paid attention to them, but they just got these, like, snouts that come out to, like, here. And, I don't know, terrified me as a kid. Kind of still scares me to this day. Next up, we have Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You all know what scene I'm referencing when I say that, because it's on every top 10 list. It's on every list that when people talk about scenes like this, everyone talks about this scene. The tunnel scene.
I don't want to try, Daddy!
Wonka, do me a favor, tell those creatures to stop!
And it's not just the going into the tunnel and the screaming and they're going super fast. What used to scare me shitless as a kid would be all the visuals behind them that they're flying through, with the centipede crawling on that woman's face, or the chicken getting its head cut off. Why would they put that in a children's film? That is scary. Now, to keep myself in track, I have notes here that I'm keeping track of which scene I'm going to talk about, and I forgot to write one down, so I'm inserting it here before I go on. And it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Whenever Judge Doom reveals himself as Eddie Valiant's killer, his brother's killer, and you know the scene with the red daggers, and Christopher Lloyd was, you know, born to play a villain. He just the way he acts and does things with his acting, he's a great villain. It's so scary though when his voice goes high pitched.
When I kill your brother, I talk! Yes!
Especially because the whole movie is just silly and cartoony. I mean, it's a little adult for a children's film, but it's a great movie. And then that scene comes, and I remember being terrified of that as a kid, especially the daggers that come out of his eyes. The mix of cartoon and live action, especially at that young age, is just scary to see. Next up, we got another one that's always on these top 10 lists, is Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Whenever they're opening the Ark, oh, it's not just the face melting, because later in that very exact scene, the main guy, his head explodes. The visuals on that movie are crazy because they don't cut away from the face melting. They just keep on it until you can see the skull under the melted skin. It still kind of creeps me out to this day as an adult because that early special effects, just because it was so early, looks janky, which kind of makes it look kind of more real, which is an added element to the fear of it. Now for my last one. You're probably wondering, Journey 2, the one with Dwayne Johnson, what could possibly scare you in that movie? It's not really scary, it's more disgusted and grossed out, and it's the scene when they're walking on the lizard eggs, and what's it called? The dad falls in, and the lizard that isn't like a fully developed lizard yet because it's still in the egg, like comes over to him and like, gross. Look.
Oh! Oh man! Oh!
It's the addition of the slime and the, I don't know if it's CGI or if they made like a little puppet for the little baby lizard. But it brings up a primal ick in my chest, and it just does not make me feel good. It makes me feel disgusted. And that scene, even though it came out in 2012 and I was probably 11 or 12 at that point, still disgusting. I couldn't watch it. I hated that scene. Alrighty, thank you for watching me just kind of rant about these scenes that scared me as a kid. Leave a comment on what scenes in non-scary movies that scared you as a kid, and maybe I'll take a look at them and see if they scare me too. Happy Halloween. This video is kind of short. Didn't want to take up too much of your time. I know Halloween is a busy day, and I gotta go fight some crime. Alrighty, now see y'all in the next one.